Good afternoon. I am going to be your teacher today. My name is Miss Elkin. I'm going to be doing the subject today is going to be phonemic awareness. It's going to be about 15 minutes. And today we're going to learn how to demonstrate understanding of spoken words, syllables, and sounds, otherwise known as phonemes. A little bit of review from yesterday. I would like to do an activity with the class that's called, I found on Pinterest, it's called the apple. And what it is you have these sentences. This sentence says, the apple is red. And what I would have each of my students do is for each for each word, we would put how many syllables, a dot by each word. So this would be would be 1. Apple would be 2. Is would be 1. And red would be 1. I'd also, to help them understand spoken words and recognize them clearly, I created this little game, and it's based off the apple. And what I would do is I have these words written in black, and I would pass them each out to every student. I put my students in groups just for a short, simple review. And it's called, and I would have each desk have a small sentence, maybe 5 words tops. This sentence says, I love to eat apples. So what they would do is, for this sentence, I would give them each a handful of letters for each group, and they would find the letters that would match to each one of these. Just as a little simple fun activity, like the word apples in this sentence, the word apples here would match. So they create their own sentence by matching the words. After the review, I would ask my class, just a short, simple review after the game, how many words are in the phrase, my toothbrush is purple, just like my backpack. My toothbrush is purple, just like my backpack. Then I would have our class go together on our morning message. Each morning my kids would come into my classroom, and there will be a morning message on the board telling them what we're going to be doing for the day, a short, simple sentence. And I would have them take that sentence and count each word in each sentence. Then I would say, okay, let's use our fingers to count the circles, meaning we circle each word in in the phrase that I have on our morning message. The purpose for this activity is to strengthen the students' developed awareness and read with a better understanding of words. Last week we learned the concepts of spoken words, and today we will learn how to syllable segmentation of our words. Basically counting how many syllables are in each word. We're going to be looking at a lot of different words. I don't think I have anything today with phrases yet. We're not going to get too far into that yet. But tomorrow we will learn how to target each sound. The objective is to establish a clear awareness of our spoken words, syllables, and sounds. Most of my teaching today will be done on the smartboard. And I have a lot of worksheets. I've printed a few worksheets out that I'm going to show. I'm going to introduce multi-syllabic words manipulation on the smartboard. And what I will do is since I don't have a smartboard handy, I will divide words from our reading selections that we choose into syllables, and I'll have them write each syllable on a note card and display the syllables in a jumbled order. I'll call on individual students and have them orally answer just by arranging the syllables to form the words. After we do this little activity, I will it will introduce syllable closed sort, and I have that in front of me. And this is how we will do this. I will hand out each student one of these. And, okay, I have this little activity that I'm going to show here. I'm charging my phone, so I'm just going to show it up this way. This is the worksheet that I will do as I just showed. And each of my students will have this worksheet. They'll write their name on it. And I will give them words such as horse, silly, butterfly, motorcycle. Okay, here's a couple so I can show. This is the word peanut. And what my students will do, under each number that is on this sheet, they will take the word and they will find the number count of syllables that are in this word. So peanut has 2 syllables, so we would have them put peanut under the word 2. And after they realize, okay, this word has 2 syllables, I will then ask them to write the word on the sheet. So once we discuss and we figure out as a group how many syllables are in each word, my students will write that word under each column that it pertains to. Just to show a brief example, another one I could do pencil. Pencil has 2 syllables, pencil. And pencil we will put under the number 2. So I will have my students write pencil, as I did. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, moving on, I will introduce another little simple activity, but it still meets our objective for the day. I will introduce what's called Piece It Together. Piece It Together is one of my favorite activities out of this group. Actually, it's the most fun. It actually, when I cut the pieces, I made them look like actual 3D images pizzas, and a lot of students kind of get excited when they see stuff like that. They like to try to match it like a puzzle. So what we do is I take, like for example, hammer. I'll have a selected, I'm going to put both of all of my students in groups and have a selected amount of these given to them. On each group table, I will have the words out, and they will have to match the puzzle pieces together. So in this circumstance would be H-A-M-M-E-R for hammer, and they go together. Once they find a match, I will have them write the word down, like as in the instructions. So they would do, so for hammer would be H-A-M, and they would circle because it's one puzzle piece. And then they would do M-E-R to complete it. Just like that. Okay, moving on. Clear my space. Okay, moving on, after we do the Piece It Together activity, I will also include a closure activity to review syllables and segmentations of words. I will split the class into groups and place 6 picture cards on the table of each group. Each picture has 3 sight word sentences that each represent a syllable count. Each group must figure out how to sort the picture cards from the highest amount of syllable count to smallest, from left to right. After we do this, I will go over a little short review questions and say, and ask my students, how did you know that sentence has the highest number of syllables? And they will respond, because we can count the syllables as hammer, 8, hammer, hammer. Hammer would be 2 syllables. So pencil, pencil. Tie, 1 syllable. So if we were to compare tie and hammer together, hammer would be the biggest because it has 2 syllables. Then after we discuss that, I will ask them, can they tell me another word to extend the syllable count to match the highest one? Then we get, back into our puzzle pieces, and a lot of students like to go back to different activities that they've used based with the piece it together activity, the puzzle pieces. And for homework, I will assign my students to say the word and color the circles for each syllable. And this would be on a worksheet called Slick Syllable Sounds Worksheet. And this is what it looks like. And what my students will do, they will say the word, color a circle for each syllable. So in the first example, it shows a piece of candy. So the word would be candy. So for this one, I would have them color in one circle, and they'd say the word candy. Okay, and for my early finishers, I will have students read each and dot the syllables. It's a dot the syllable worksheet. It's a bingo dot. It includes markers. I did find that at the teacher's store down the road, but I do not have it on hand. I will have it the day of this lesson. For my special needs students, the students with a reading disability will work with a paraprofessional on using word box and letter cards to practice decoding words with the letter sound correspondence. And for my students who are English language learners, they'll work singly one-on-one with me to frequently practice syllable counting by clapping the syllables to help them hear them. They can also sort them under numbers. A lot of my students like this activity, especially my special needs students. They like to get into it, especially with when you say hammer, hammer. A lot of my students get really excited about clapping. For the remediation, after the lesson, I'll have my students who need the remediation be placed in a small group with the assistance of a paraprofessional to segment the syllables in a word or hop using their finger to correspond the number of syllables on a hopscotch board. And I will bring a hopscotch board with me. I will make it. And I will bring this hopscotch board with me. It's not something that I can print out or cut out. I will make it on an actual out of a plywood board. For this assignment, I did not have time to make it, but I will paint it and set it up just like a regular hopscotch board, and I will show different pictures of different objects and have my students hop the number of syllables for each picture. For enrichment, I have on a blank sheet of paper, I'll have my students fold their paper like a hot dog, So that would be like this. And then open it back up and then fold it like a hamburger. So that would be like this, or like this. And once I open it back up, I should have 4 consecutive squares. For each square, I'll have 4 3-word sentences, 1 per box, and I'll have my students draw them, clap them, and record the number of syllables for each. If they get this activity correctly, every student who is in the enrichment class will have bonus points given to them for everything they have correct. And that is the end of my lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.